Good morning, second form. So I have set a worksheet on Dr. Frost. It is 12.1 metric conversions and time. So it's a pretty straightforward one. It's what we were going to do in the lesson today anyway. If you just want to a quick revision lesson on the basics of metric conversions and time, I'll just quickly run you through the slides that I was going to run through with you today in the lesson. So 1 meter is how many centimeters? Now, cent means like century. A century is 100. So whenever there's cent in it, think of 100. So 1 meter is 100 centimeters. So cent is 100. Everything else is really 1,000. So whenever you hear milli or kilo, think of 1,000. So 1 centimeter is 10 millimeters. Okay, and why is that? It's because there's 1,000 millimeters in a meter. Okay, so that's where the milli comes from, milli being 1,000. So 1 centimeter, I think a centimeter is like the size of your thumbnail. Okay, that breaks down into 10 millimeters. Millimeters are very small. Okay, so 1 meter is 1,000 millimeters. And 1 kilometer, so a kilometer's big, you know, it's sort of over half a mile. 1 kilometer is 1,000 meters. Okay, so I was then going to get you just to complete these. So 500 meters, well, that's half a kilometer. Okay, there's 1,000 meters in a kilometer. Now, how do we go from meters to centimeters? Remember, cent was 100, so there's 100 times this number of centimeters. Timesing by 100, we add a couple of noughts, so that's going to have 4 noughts. And then, as we were saying, there's 10 millimeters in a centimeter. So to go from centimeters to millimeters, you add another nought. So that would be 500,000. So that's it really on metric conversions. The other thing I was just going to run through with you was time. Okay, so really, and obviously you can all tell the time, but this is really when you're trying to convert from hours and minutes into just hours and vice versa. So 7 hours, 30 minutes. Well, there are 30 minutes in an hour. Sorry, there's 60 minutes in an hour. 60, obviously, 60 minutes in an hour. So 30 minutes is half an hour. So 7 hours, 30 minutes is 7.5 hours. Now, 15 minutes is quarter of an hour. So 6 hours, 15 minutes is 6.25 hours. Now, 10 minutes, okay, 60 minutes in an hour. So 10 over 60 is a sixth, okay. So that's 4 1/6, okay. 10 minutes, 10 out of 60, that's 4 1/6. So do that as a mixed number on your calculator, okay. Now, 4 hours and 6 minutes, well, that's 6 minutes out of 60. That's 6 over 60, which simplifies to a tenth. So that's 4 1/10 hours, okay, or 4.1 if you like. And then my final slide was going the other way. When we've got hours and we're trying to convert it into hours and minutes. So 7.25 hours, well, that's 7.25 hours, 0.25 being a quarter. Quarter of an hour is 15 minutes. So that's 7 hours and 15 minutes. Now, 6.1 hours, well, 0.1 is a tenth. So what's a tenth of an hour? When an hour is 60 minutes, a tenth of 60 is 6. So that's going to be 6 hours and 6 minutes. Now, 6.3 hours, 0.3, that's 3 tenths. Now, 3 tenths, how do we convert that to 60ths? Times it by 6. So we get 6 hours and 18 60ths, 6 hours, 18 minutes. And then finally, 0.75 hours, that's 4 3/4 hours. Well, what's 3/4 of an hour in minutes? That's 45 minutes. So that's 4 hours, 45 minutes.